What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of iFishLI. In today's video, I'm just going to be talking about some of your options and what I have been catching lately in this early summer season. So before we get into this, I just want to say, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn the notification bell on. And I'm just going to get right into this. So starting out with striped bass. Lately, I've been catching striped bass on piers at night and bridges at night, and in back bays on the north and the south shore. So basically, in the back bays, I only really use soft plastics like a bass assassin or a paddle tail, and in the back bays I found that they really like it really fast right below the surface, or if it's paddle tail, like buzzing it on the surface, so the paddle tail gives it a really nice action. And I like to use pretty light jig head. Sometimes I'll use 1/8 ounce, which is like tiny, or all the way up to 1/2 ounce. It depends on like what I don't know, it just depends on the size of the bait that I'm using. I typically use a white color for bass assassins and the paddle tails, and that normally gets the job done. Gotten some solid fish on that, up to like just 28 inches. I haven't really gotten anything bigger than that this year. And for the fish on the pier and at the bridges, basically what I've been doing is bucktails and bass assassins, and I've just been pitching them really tight to structure and kind of just reeling it in slowly. If I see a fish following it, just give it a light jerk to try and get a reaction strike out of, like, just force a strike out of them. And also, sometimes if they're really picky, you could just bounce it along the bottom with the current right along the structure, and sometimes they'll just pick it up. So that's about it for stripers lately in the early summer season, and it's likely that the stripers will stick around the structure, like the bridges and the piers, all summer long. I've caught stripers in like the off bridges and piers all summer long. So if the big fish don't move in, it'll just be catching schoolies off structure all summer long. But I'm hoping to get a bigger one before they move out here, or it'll just be waiting until the fall. So next up is bluefish. So bluefish kind of skipped my area, but I was still able to find them. And basically, the two lures I've been catching bluefish on, which you guys have seen in my recent videos, are diamond jigs and pencil poppers. And I don't know if I said this already, but I'm just going to link all the gear that I use in the description below. For like my back bay rods, it's just a 7-foot medium heavy ugly stick, and for my surf rod right now, all I have is 9-foot Penn Prevail medium heavy with the size 5000 Penn Battle. I'm ordering new gear slowly but surely. I just ordered a new back bay rod, so that'll be coming in shortly. But back to the bluefish. So basically, what I would do is in the inlet or in the back bays, well, no, more in the inlet when I'm trying to find the fish, I would just use a diamond jig and search for the school. And once I started getting hit consistently on the diamond jig, I'd switch over to a pencil popper to try and get some topwater action, and that would pretty much always get the job done once I found the fish. And in the back bays, what happened is I would just I saw the fish tailing, and then I would throw the pencil popper at them. And yeah, like, pencil popper is a great lure for the blues in the back bay. They'll totally slam it. It's really awesome. And bluefish have also been caught in the surf on diamond jigs and stuff like that. So diamond jigs is always a great lure for bluefish. You guys, that's probably the best bet of catching a bluefish for finding them. I think that's the best lure to find them with. And then next up, we'll talk about Fluke. So what I've been doing lately for Fluke, I've only caught 3 Fluke this year, and they've all been out of my kayak, so I haven't really found any good Fluke spots. But basically, I only really fish for fluke off my kayak or off piers. I don't really like fishing a fluke anything else other than off a pier or off my kayak. So what I do, there's two rigs I use for fluke. I like to do I used to only really like the high-low double dropper loop rig with two pieces of gulp, a 4-inch swimming mullet, but this year I kind of switched over to using a bucktail with a dropper loop above it and a 4-inch mullet on both them. So my theory is that the bigger fluke will eat the bucktail, and then the smaller fluke will just chase the bucktail and then take the teaser on top because they're small enough for them to take. So the bucktail will get the bigger fluke and the smaller fluke, and that's it's a really good way to catch fluke. Just bucktail with gulp on top. That's pretty much the universal fluke rig, and you kind of just like jig it like consistently on the bottom and just reel in slow. Yeah, most people know that, but just thought I'd say it for the beginners. And I like to use a pretty light bait caster on the kayak for that, and then from shore I like to use a spinning setup. And also, if you're going for fluke, there's been some weakfish around, so there's a good chance that you could run into some weakfish. So what I did in the last video, and I'm going to continue doing, is I just put the teaser, use a pink gulp, because weakfish really like pink, so it increases your chance of catching a weakfish if you want to catch one, because I really want to catch one. I haven't caught one since I was 8 years old, and two of my friends on my last two kayak trips have caught one, and I still didn't, but I'll get my weakfish eventually. Even if it's not this year, I'll get it eventually, so I'm not too upset about it, but soon. And lastly, I kind of just wanted to talk about something that comes up frequently in the comments. A lot of people don't like the fact that sometimes I show like landmarks that will give away a spot or something, but also people get upset with me if I don't tell them the spot. So what I try and do is I just say North Shore, South Shore. It's obvious if it's like back bay, pier, or in the surf. So you guys can get that information out of that. And I just don't give exact locations as a courtesy to the people who fish those spots every day. Don't want them to get too crowded for them. Don't want them to be overfished. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's my theory with the spot burning. I try my best to not show any landmarks, and I never give away any exact locations. I'll tell you North Shore or South Shore. I'll give you information like incoming or outgoing. I'll do my best to help you guys out, but I don't want to upset anyone by giving away exact locations for the people who fish those spots every day. I don't want them to get overfished or overcrowded. I think that's fair. Yeah, so it's going to be it for today's video. It's a short video. I was just talking in it. Yeah, nothing else I really want to talk about. I'll just say what I'm going to be doing in the next couple of weeks for fishing. So in the next couple of days, I'm going to be trying to do a catch and cook of either like a cocktail bluefish or of a sea robin, whichever one. And then next week, I'm going to be going to Lake George with some friends, and I'm going to be doing some kayak fishing, and I'm going to be doing some fishing off a dock, hoping to get some new species like rock bass. I know that lake is crawling with rock bass, so I'm pretty sure I'll be able to land a rock bass. That'll be species number 43, unless I catch something else before I go out there. If anybody knows any good spots or any tips for me for Lake George, drop them in the comments. And yeah, after I get back, probably going to be doing a lot of fluke fishing, maybe try and continue with the pier striper fishing. But that's it. So thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. All the gear that I talked about in this video will be linked below. I'll just say like kind of what I use it for, and like just a link to it in the Amazon like the Amazon link to it, and I'll just link all the lures that I talked about. And yep, thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video.